Class. This is our Bible lesson for pre-K, kindergarten, and first grade about this missionary named Paul. You know he didn't start out as Paul, did he? Let's find out how he came to the name of Paul. It has something to do with responsibility. Listen for these key words: Saul, capture; Paul, Ananias, Damascus, and baptized. There once was a man named Saul. He didn't like anyone who followed Jesus. He tried to capture people who loved Jesus and would put them in jail. One day, he was traveling to Damascus to arrest some Christians. As he was walking, a bright light shined in his face. He heard a voice saying, "Saul, Saul, why are you doing all of these mean things?" Saul was very scared. The voice said, "Now stand up and go to the city. You will find out what you need to do there." Saul got up and he was blind. His friends helped him to the city. He was blind for 3 days and didn't have any food or drink. Then God sent a man named Ananias to see Saul. Ananias told him that God loved him and was going to heal him. Right away, Saul was healed. He was baptized and changed his name to Paul. He decided to live his life for Christ. From that time on, Paul was a man who gave up everything to follow Christ. He preached and taught about Jesus. Many new people loved Jesus because of his teaching. Did you listen and hear how Paul was responsible? Responsible to do what you are supposed to do. You know, when Paul started out, he was not responsible. He did the opposite of what he should do. But when God spoke into his heart, it caused Saul to stop in his tracks. Like for real, he couldn't even see. And once he stopped, he was able to hear God's voice speaking into his heart. And then he knew what he was supposed to do. And he did it like Colossians 3:23 says, "Work hard and cheerfully at whatever you do." He did. He worked so hard and was so cheerful. Because of this, as though you are working for the Lord rather than people. Colossians 3:23. You know, Paul wanted to bring people to love Jesus, didn't he? But the reason was because Paul loved God, as though you are working for the Lord. And he was working for the Lord. Now, today's story leads us to our activity. In your directions on your lessons, say to play the game. But Mrs. Kelly isn't here today to play the game with me, so I thought I would just skip ahead and do my responsibility sheet. Mrs. Kelly colored all of these things so nicely for us. Responsibility at home, at school, and some new responsibility. I'm going to use sentences to write about my responsibilities. You can use a sentence or you can draw pictures, whatever works best for you. Home. I'll fold this up. One way I am responsible at home, I'll tell you what it is maybe I'll just start it with I. Let me change that. One way I'm responsible at home, I'm going to start with a capital and leave a space. Wash the, can you guess what I wash? Dishes. One way I'm responsible at home is I wash the dishes. I could certainly draw a sink with some dishes in here, couldn't I? But I'm choosing to write a sentence. How am I responsible at school? One way I am responsible at school. I get lessons ready for my class. That's one way I'm responsible at school. And I could draw a picture of some books and computers here. I chose to write a sentence. What's a new responsibility I have? One way I can be more responsible. I have a good one here. I should brush Theo more often. That is one way I could be more responsible. I think you probably have some other ideas of what's a better fit for you. What is a way that you can be that you are responsible at home? What is a way that you are responsible at school or when you're working at home on school? And what is something you can do to be more responsible? I wash the dishes. I get lessons ready for my class. I should brush Theo more often. Take a picture of your responsibility worksheet for me, okay, guys? And load it up in your Seesaw journal.